Yellow Jello, how goes it everyone? I'm Biff Wellington and this is your international headline highlights for the day, where we bring you the top 5 international news stories from all the digital outlets across every bubble on the web, with a few facts and perspectives about each one for context and info. So let's get to it. Today's number 5 international headline highlights news topic is Iran executes protest-linked defendants amid renewed human rights outcry. Our number 5 involved Iran executing 2 men connected to protests and wartime cases while sentencing 4 others to death, reigniting global criticism over Tehran's judicial system and human rights record. International organizations condemned the rulings, arguing the trials lack transparency and due process. The executions landed at a particularly volatile moment because Iran is simultaneously involved in regional negotiations, economic pressure campaigns, and military tensions stretching across the Middle East. It's the diplomatic equivalent of trying to juggle chainsaws during a thunderstorm while insisting everything is fully under control. European governments expressed concern that the executions could inflame unrest inside Iran and complicate already fragile regional talks. Critics say the government is using severe punishments to project authority after years of demonstrations and instability. Meanwhile, ordinary civilians are trapped between sanctions, inflation, regional conflict, and leaders who appear determined to conduct politics like contestants on the world's angriest reality television program. Today's number 4 international headline highlights news topic is Putin's China visit reveals cracks inside the Russia-China partnership. Our number 4 topic involved the increasingly awkward relationship between Xi Jinping and Vladimir Putin. Publicly, both governments continue presenting a unified front against Western influence. But behind the scenes, analysts describe the relationship as less brotherhood and more 2 men sharing an umbrella while quietly checking each other's pockets. Russia's dependence on Chinese trade and manufacturing has exploded since sanctions isolated Moscow from much of Europe. Chinese companies are benefiting enormously from Russian demand, especially in border cities flooded with rubles and bargain hunters. But Beijing appears reluctant to fully tie itself to Russia's military ambitions, preferring leverage over loyalty. Russian security officials reportedly distrust Chinese espionage efforts, while China keeps negotiating hard on energy prices because friendship is wonderful right until someone mentions pipeline contracts. The entire partnership currently resembles 2 poker players, smiling politely while hiding flamethrowers under the table. Today's number 3 international headline highlights news topic is Belarus and Ukraine tensions intensify amid fears of wider regional war. Another major story centered on mounting fears that Belarus could become more directly involved in the war against Ukraine. The exiled Belarusian opposition leader visited Kiev, while Ukrainian officials warned that Belarusian President Alexander Lukashenko was increasing hostile rhetoric and deepening military coordination with Moscow. Ukraine has already reinforced its northern defenses because apparently one active invasion was not enough material for this geopolitical disaster franchise. Lukashenko denies plans for direct involvement, while simultaneously delivering statements that sounded like a man trying to keep one foot in diplomacy and the other on a banana peel. European leaders are worried Belarus could serve as another launch platform for Russian operations, reopening a northern front and complicating already stretched Ukrainian defenses. Somewhere in NATO headquarters, analysts are surviving almost entirely on black coffee, stress, and blinking satellite screens that never stop producing terrible surprises. Today's number 2 international headline highlights news topic is Iran Strait of Hormuz deal rumors send oil markets into frenzy. The second biggest headline story involves reports that negotiations tied to Iran and the Strait of Hormuz might actually cool tensions in the Middle East, causing oil traders to react like caffeinated raccoons fighting over a dropped burrito. Markets swung hard after indications emerged that a ceasefire framework and shipping agreement were nearing completion. Oil prices dropped sharply because investors briefly experienced an unfamiliar emotion called optimism, immediately followed by suspicion and gastrointestinal distress. Iran reportedly wants frozen assets released and broader regional guarantees, while Israel continues military operations in Lebanon, despite diplomatic maneuvering flying around like confetti at the world's least enjoyable parade. Governments across Europe and Asia are watching closely, because Hormuz is one of the planet's most crucial energy arteries. One blocked shipping lane, and suddenly every finance minister on Earth starts looking like they aged 12 years during a single conference call. Today's number one international headline highlights news topic is: Russia threatens systematic strikes on Kiev after massive missile barrage. The biggest headline story today was the dramatic escalation in the Russia-Ukraine war after Moscow practically sent Kiev a "Dear residents, maybe don't stand near the windows today" notification. Vladimir Putin and Russian officials warned foreigners and diplomats to leave Kiev because systematic strikes were coming after one of the heaviest bombardments of the war. Ukrainian officials reported deaths, destroyed residential districts, and widespread damage while diplomats toured the wreckage looking like exhausted substitute teachers on a field trip through the apocalypse. Russia claimed Ukraine crossed the line after a deadly strike in occupied Luhansk, while Kiev denied targeting civilians. Meanwhile, the Kremlin unveiled hypersonic missiles again, because apparently every geopolitical confrontation now requires at least one villain monologue and an expensive missile demonstration for the cameras. Europe is bracing for another dangerous phase, while everyone else nervously refreshes maps and energy prices every 12 seconds. Thank you for watching this PCBS News International video. If you enjoyed it, then please check out our 6 other channels which cover different categories and topics of current news. PCBS News Politics covers United States political news. PCBS News Crime Report covers crimes and criminals around the world. PCBS News National covers non-political news in the United States. PCBS News Tag covers tech, anime, and gaming news. PCBS News Entertainment covers movies, TV shows, and music news. And PCBS News SMP covers social media, streamers, and content creator news. If these topics interest you and you want to be aware of what's going on in the world and how it can affect you, then check them out. Thank you.